This is our the webinar for August 2021, and we are glad to have everybody on board. Thank you very much. And so we go right ahead. We have our IELTS trainer with us on board, and okay, so she will introduce herself. So Miss Fumi, over to you, ma'am. Could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself and what you do?
Okay, my name is Adeibe Fumilayo, and I am an IELTS instructor. This is something I've been doing for the past 3 years, as far back as 2018. Um, I'm not just an IELTS instructor. I was once an IELTS, test taker, and that was where the whole journey began. I wanted to write IELTS as far back as 2018, and I wrote it after a month of preparation, and thankfully I aced it. And where I took the test, I was retained as an IELTS instructor because of the outstanding result. So that was how the whole journey started. And ever since, I've been trying to, I think I've not liked trying anymore. I've fine tuned my knowledge of IELTS, not just the knowledge, but also imparting the knowledge in students. So, and I think if I should count, I would say I've trained over 1,000 students, over 1,000 in IELTS. And currently where I work, I'm actually the lead instructor. And so yeah, that's that's just a little bit of myself.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That's an impressive resume.
Thank you.
So I've heard quite a lot of people talk about the IELTS. Can you kindly what exactly is it all about?
Well, IELTS is like an English language. Okay, the full meaning of IELTS is International English Language Testing System. It's actually a test you take to assess your English language ability. For example, if you're thinking of migrating to any English-speaking country, prominently United Kingdom, United States of America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, most of this government would always require that you take this test to see if you can communicate in the official language. So most of the time, if you're thinking of relocating abroad or getting a work abroad or even international admission, you'll be required to take IELTS. So it's just a language test. And eventually, if you're able to prepare yourself and get the knowledge when it comes to IELTS, you should be able to. It's a very simple test, I must say.
Thank you very much. That makes life easier. So, so how does IELTS benefit me as a person? You've told me it's all about speaking English. How does it benefit the individual?
Well, as an individual, it's going to be of great help if because usually as Nigerians we always try to should I say broaden our horizon as regards either education, get more work experience, and some of the time some people are just not comfortable with the situation of the country and they just want to relocate to a better place. So as an individual, if you're able to take IELTS, one good thing about the test is it's not just a test whereby it's only acceptable in a country. I think as of now, it's acceptable in over 140 countries. So it's something that would give you an edge over some other people that are vying for the same thing. So if you're able to take the test, definitely one thing is it would, while prepping for the test, it would improve your English language, ability, which is our official language here as well. That's one benefit. And also it will give you an edge over every other person, vying for the same thing, trying to relocate or get a job. So those are the benefit that comes with IELTS for any individual taking the test.
That's beautiful. So, what are some of the terminologies for that are peculiar to IELTS?
There are so many. Okay, let's start with I think I've given it like the full meaning of the acronym IELTS. Another basic terminology, it would be the different versions of the test. Well, we have versions of the test and we have modules of the test. So currently we have two versions of the test. We call it IELTS PBT and IELTS CBT. PBT simply means paper-based test. So that means you're at liberty to take IELTS like a paper test. And also we have IELTS CBT, and that's the computer-based test. So you have that. Those are the two versions of the test that we have, and also the different modules we have. We have IELTS General Training, and we have IELTS Academic. We have several of them, but those are the two most prominent. General Training, basically for those who want to relocate or work abroad, and Academic for those seeking international admission. So we also have what we call band scores. Band scores are basically, I told you at the initial stage that IELTS is not an exam per se. That's one it's not a derogatory thing, but it's just one misconception I try to enlighten people. It's not really an exam. When you're taking an exam, it's either you pass or you fail. But when it comes to IELTS, you don't pass, you don't fail. They basically give you, or let me just give you a simple illustration. When you are sick and you really want to ascertain what is wrong with you, you go to a doctor and they will, conduct some tests to really ascertain what is wrong with you. It's the same thing. It's not like you feel like, I feel my English language ability is awesome. So you go to IELTS test examiners. They would examine you. The questions you get are more like the sample or the questions they use it to draw some content from you. And eventually they will tell you, you know what, this is the level we feel your English language level is at. So those are what we call the band score. It's just an indication of the level you are when it comes to English language. So we have from band 0 to band 9, band 9 being the highest and band 0 being the lowest. So depending on whatever level you eventually find yourself, after taking the test, that would determine your level. So we have band scores. We have them in whole numbers and we have them in half bands as well. So we have say 8.5, we have 9 as a whole number, we have 7.5, that's like a half band. So we have them in that range. Another terminology would be the aspect of the test. We have the listening, the reading, the speaking, and the writing test. So these are the aspects of the test. Another terminology would be the test report form. A lot of people would say my results, yeah, your result, but the real word is actually test report form. So that's like the eventual, like the certificate you get after your test that, okay, this is it. So those, I feel those are the basic terminology that if you're taking IELTS, you should be abreast of.
Thank you, Ma. That's really enlightening. I was just listening, I was just nodding my head. Really? So I didn't know this. Okay. Thank you so very much, Ma. That's really good. So you explained the next question I have. I think you've explained really that how many types of exams you have. You said so. You've explained that. But
okay,
does it now mean
we actually have more than that too? Those are just the two most prominent.
Oh, okay. Because I've went on the site. I saw something like VI.
Yeah, we have IELTS UKVI. Okay, let me mention the different types that we have. We have IELTS general training. We have the general training module. We have the academic module. We have IELTS academic UKVI. So I said it the other time that IELTS academic is basically for those seeking international admission, right? But IELTS UK academic UKVI is only acceptable in institutions in UK. So there are some institutions in UK that would specifically ask you to take a UKVI academic test. So that's the function of that. And also we have IELTS life skill tests. We have A1, we have B1, I think we have B2 as well. So these life skill tests are basically for those seeking to relocate to the UK again, and perhaps to meet your spouse, or you're going on a visit. So you would not be taking all four aspects of the test when you're taking any life skill test. I think the one we would usually take in Nigeria is the A1 test, the life skill A1 IELTS life skill A1 test. Basically for anyone trying to join their partners in the UK. So you'll be required to. So these are the various versions of the test that we have.
That's really enlightening. Really, I didn't know this. Thank you. Okay, so this you've explained all the major. Now all these aspects of the IELTS.
Okay.
Are there different exams for them? I mean, is it aside from those four you mentioned? Are there different exams for each one? For instance, the general versus the academic. Are there different exams?
No. Okay. Let's do it this way. Let me start with I told you that we have about two that are quite prominent, and that's the academic version, module of the test, and general training module of the test. These two are basically the same. You are going to write the listening part, the reading, the writing, and also you are going to take all four. The major difference between these two is the reading aspect and the writing aspect. If we have an IELTS test taker taking the general training part and an academic part, a test taker taking the general training would not be writing the same reading and writing test as that of an academic student. But both of them will be taking the listening and the same listening and speaking tests. But the reading and the writing aspect will differ for general training and academic. Okay, now let's now bring IELTS academic UKVI into the picture. The same tests, an IELTS, a test taker taking the ordinary IELTS academic test would be taking. There's the same thing an IELTS academic UKVI a test taker would also be taking. They'll be taking the same test. It's still the same four versions, four modules, but the only difference would be in the test report form they get at the end of the day. While the test taker taking the academic version will get, I won't call it ordinary, let's just say like the normal test report form, someone taking IELTS academic UKVI would get a test report form, carrying the UKVI certification. So the major difference is the certification you get at the end of the day. And now let's talk about life skills tests. Life skills test is also quite different. For example, if you're teaching a general training student and an academic, you can actually still teach both of them in the class. But the moment you bring someone taking a life skill test into that class, you are basically hurting that student, because whatever knowledge you're passing at that point in time is of no use to them. Why? Because their test is designed in a different way. They would only take the listening and the speaking part of the test, and even the listening and the speaking part of the test is not the same as those taking academic or general training. Theirs is more of an interview, so between them and the IELTS examiner. So the IELTS examiner will be present while they're taking the listening test. The IELTS examiner would also be present while they're taking the speaking test. So I would say life skill tests, the exams are quite different from the general training and academic students. So those are the major differences.
So it will just make sense for, let's assume I was a prospective IELTS taker, for me to undergo some, I should be interviewed, more or less. That's what I want to use. So to find out exactly what I want to do before I go into.
That's another major error a lot of people make when they, most of the time, when people are writing IELTS, it's because someone said I should just write the exam. So you see people coming into your class and they're like, what, they say I should write IELTS, and you'll be asking, okay, what version of the test do you want to take? And they'll say, they just say IELTS. Okay, so until you ask them, what do you want, what do you need the test for? So you now be able to advise them that, okay, this is actually the module you should be registering for. So that's another major error that, people need to try to get their facts right before registering for the test.
That's fine, ma. That's very fine. You've really educated me, and I'm sure you've educated our listeners. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, ma. Thank you, ma.
You have a question for me?
Yes, I do. This Tim Tokwe. All right.
Oh, Tim Tokwe, how are you doing?
I'm good. You're looking fresh.
I hear you.
Okay. The UKVI.
Okay.
Is it just UKVI academic? Do they have UKVI general as well?
No. We don't have a UKVI for general. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
So to you now, I mean, your Malga at the top, so I need to, this is now we asking you some questions. So what exactly is the LASO CBT's USP? What is our selling point? Judging by, I want to start from where she stopped, because she said that anybody who is coming into train should have some sort of some kind of interview to find out what they are supposed to do. So what is our selling point? What is the LASO CBT selling point as regards that and other services that we do?
Okay. think our unique selling point at the LASU CBT first is our people. So we take pride in the people that we have as member of staff. They are very friendly people, very professional people. And another one is our location. We run for the IELTS, so we run it from two of our locations. One is our Ikeja GRA office. So that is more for those people complaining that the head office now it's a little bit far from them. So we use the Ikeja office to interface with people in town, so to speak. And we also have our office inside the Lagos State University as well. So when people are looking to come to a place that is very conducive, so which is one of the reasons why the CBT, the LASU CBT, was set up. So we set up with just one main goal in mind, which is to make it as comfortable, as convenient as possible for exam takers. And to summarize really quickly, our people were really very proud of the people that we have at the CBT. We're very proud of the services that we offer, and our locations too, very top-notch, very convenient, and very conducive. And I'm sure people will fall in love with it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That was very, very explanatory. Thank you. Okay, hi.
I can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. So the next question I have is where is LASU CBT located?
Okay, ma. LASU CBT is located inside LASU main campus, Ojo. It's inside the main campus. When you get to the main campus, just ask anybody you see there, any security. Ask them, tell them you're going to LASU CBT 10. They will direct you down to our location.
Is that the only place that we are looking? Mr. Kazim mentioned something about Ikeja. So you're assuming I can't come all the way to LASU. I mean, is there any other place I could go to? Did you hear that, please?
Yes, if I could pick it from there. The other location that we do have is the Ikeja GRA, just like I mentioned earlier. So the Ikeja GRA office is also a very beautiful place. So it's at the out of Ikeja, so that's the other location we have. We also do have the Snake Island location as well. So people have probably heard of the Nagbe Resort. So Nagbe is also one of the properties that we own. So if we have requests, that special requests now from people that want to have a blended kind of training now, they're looking to get trained and also catch some fun, have some fun in between. So we could take them to Inagbe, so they get to learn and also get to experience the results at Inagbe. So not two locations, like I mentioned earlier, there are 3 different locations, but 2 of the locations is a little bit more pronounced. That's the GRA and the one inside LASU main campus, or John, like Tokwe rightly mentioned.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, I'm assuming that after this webinar, we're going to share it widely. So, anybody who is listening in and stays in Kotangura, for instance, and wants to have a feel of our services. So, I can't come to Lagos, obviously. So, how can I be a part of this IELTS training? Is there, if you can hear me? Okay, Mr. Kazim. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. IELTS is not the only services that we offer at the CBT. So it's just one of the core services that we're offering. So we do IT training as well. For the IT training, we have an aspect of IT training where people just walk into us and, get to choose a training of their choice to enroll for, to enroll themselves for. So we call that individual or retail training. So there's also the corporate training as well. So just like we do for some of our retail IT training classes and the corporate classes, we don't do them in the classroom. Especially now, during the time, we're in the time of COVID now, so some people have reservations about being in an environment where you have a lot of people. So we do from time to time set up this hybrid classroom environment where some people that would like to have a field, that would like to attend their class in the classroom can do so in the classroom, and we can have others also join remotely. It's like we're doing this now via Teams, via Microsoft, to facilitate most of our online sessions. So it really doesn't matter where people are, whether they are here in Lagos with us or, they just feel a little lazy, to come to the LASU CBT Center or to come to the Ikeja office. They would like to receive the classes, the lectures at the comfort of their home. They are very much welcome to do so. So we have technologies in place that, can enhance their learning, that can facilitate that one.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. You've explained a whole lot of what I really wanted you to talk about. Mr. Mtokwe, welcome back. Are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay. So how can I get in touch with LASU CBT? I mean, apart from visiting any of the physical locations, like Mr. Kazima said, any other way we can, are you on social media, things like that?
Yes, you can actually send us a mail. You can send a mail to info@lasucbt18.com, or you call Temitope at 09137877993, or Miss Bimbo too. You can also call her too if you have any inquiry. Our number is 0905 7420 So if you want to reach any of us, you can just call that.
Okay,
Right.
that's beautiful. Thank you. You can also reach us on social media. We have a YouTube channel, like Mr. Kazim has mentioned. We're also on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram. LASU CBT18 is our handle. So you can reach us anytime on any one of those mediums. Mr. Kazim, do you have any closing remarks to share with us?
Yes, I would like to say a very big thank you that I've joined. Nice to come have an experience of what the LASU CBT looks like if people haven't done so already. And just really quickly, I remember mentioning, the GRA office, and I forgot to actually give the address, right? So the address of the GRA office is 6 Eshubai Street, GRA Ikeja, right? So we'll be expecting people to come check us out. And just like Bimbo also mentioned, that we're big on social media, right? So if they like to have a listen, to a rewatch of even this webinar, so we plan to do many more of this in the future, so they can catch up with us on social media, like you mentioned, and it's at LASU CBT18 across the different social media channels. So we'll be expecting them to join us, and we'll promise that they're really going to fall in love with the LASU CBT.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kazim, for your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Mitokwe, for your time. We really appreciate it. It has been good having you join us on this webinar. Like you mentioned, we are going to have many more of it, and we hope we'll see you soon. Either you call myself or you call Mr. Mitokwe or follow us on social media, and we'll be glad to have you enjoy the services that we have to offer. Thank you very, very much, and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.